want a man to be attractive, tall, make 6 or 7 figures, even though most women do not make that themselves. If he's nice, he's a lame. If he's mean, he's unattainable. He's a challenge, and then women want him, even if they will not admit it.
We're together, but we're not together.
Okay. Open.
We do things with each other all the time.
And when I called her, she asked me, why did you call me? She was not going to stop seeing him.
I got to get you into the mental space to turn off that part where say, oh, I need to look at just the looks. I want you to look at the woman. What does she bring to you as a man?
Arranged marriages, like ASAP. Just think about it. An arranged marriage is where your parents set you up with the right person that they believe is good for you and right for you. Because unfortunately, as women, Black women, we don't choose well. Like, we clearly see a lot of women sit around and talk about their situation that they made the same mistakes over and over again. Like you were dumb every single time. So you can't choose for yourself. Like, you don't have good judgment. So what if arranged marriages was a part of our culture? Like, imagine how could that and how would that change?
It would change everything. It would change it because what it would do is it would stop that number that's at 47%. Black women are topping, even in others, it's at 31%, but that's for all of them combined, all of the others. But Black women are at 47, then white people are down like 16, and then Asians at 8. It would stop all of the unwanted Black pregnancies. Even like by that last Black woman that was at the end of my last video. I'm tired of being a Black woman. I prayed for the baby. Oh, you pray for the baby? Things like that are happening.
Where we are today, if we implemented that in our culture. Because in case you didn't know this, a woman told me it's not my business to worry about what my kids did in life, and it is my responsibility. It is my business. That's what a parent does. A parent is involved in ensuring that the children that you raise, right, they choose the best people for them. But they only know how to choose based on what you teach them, based on what you show them. And my husband and I would be foolish to not say anything. Because again, if you get married, right, the groom to be is going to come to your father for your hand in marriage, and your father has to say, yes, I think that, I think this is right, because he's going to then give his daughter away to that man. So to say it ain't his business or his responsibility, but yeah, I'm gonna just give you away to somebody, and I have no knowledge, I shouldn't care. It doesn't make sense. I think arranged marriages would change a lot in our community.
Yes, and that analogy is right. We've even gotten away from fathers handing over their daughters. I mean, it's done in other communities, but I'll give you an example. When I came out to the Philippines, and I talked to my father-in-law, and that impressed me. I had to talk to him and say, look, I'm looking to marry your daughter. Yes, I wasn't used to that. That doesn't happen in the West. Why doesn't it happen? Because most of them don't have, their daddies are not there. So how am I going to do it too? But it's needed. It's definitely needed. That's what's wrong with the culture. But in order for that to be implemented, you will need men in the homes. And it's sad to say, a lot of men aren't in Black homes. Maybe an uncle can do it. That would help out. But yes, we do need to bring that back.
Okay, let me really break this down.
See, look at that. You see that? You see that right there? I just wanted to show that really quickly. I said, let me really break this down. See, she has a right to talk. That's what I want to show with these past 2 videos. The last woman is married, and this woman is married. And this is the lady saying you have unfair expectations. And that's pretty much why none of y'all have a man. Also, no arranged marriages because you don't know how to pick a man. Come on now. You're expecting unfair expectations So you shouldn't pick them. Your expectations are unfair. That's why you don't have one. These are the two women that are qualified to say this.
Right? In bullet points. I got to get all this straight in my head. All right. So women want a man to be attractive, tall, make 6 or 7 figures, even though most women do not make that themselves. Right? Okay. While he's out here making all this money, all these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figures, he better be home in time to give all his attention and take her on all the dates, or else she'll cheat. Women want a man to call, but not too much. Text back, but don't text back too fast, because then he's like weird and he's a lame. And if he's nice, he's a lame. If he's mean, he's unattainable. He's a challenge, and then women want him, even if they will not admit it.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I hear women say all the time, like, I just want my man to be honest. But when he's honest, they blow up, freak out, label him mean, toxic, abusive, and of course, a narcissist. Most women do not really want honesty. They want comfort. You want a man to tell you what you want to hear, not what's going to help you grow. And speaking of growth, try pointing out just one thing that she needs to work on, and you will see exactly why most women cannot take accountability. You want a man to be emotionally available, but if he shows any emotion, then he's soft. You want him to lead, but when he does, now he's aggressive and controlling and abusive. You want him to initiate sex and affection, but when he does, you turn it down. But when he stops trying, then you say he's cheating or he's gay.
Women.
Women want undivided attention. But if he gives it to you, then he's sucking the life out of you. He won't give you space. You can't breathe. And he's lame and he's annoying. Then you turn around and cheat with the guy that's going to treat you like a whore and who looks at you as such. Women don't even realize the guy who's just trying to hit. They just look at the guy who's trying to build as the red flag. I'm confused. I don't think I will ever understand any of this. And I am a woman.
Yeah, and I love this. Like, even I like I'm just a girl. I like her as well. They're a woman who are married women holding other women accountable. I'm a married man as well, right? And I had to stray out, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to get back to facts. This is needed. What's happening right now is the only way that we get it back to the natural order. I don't see it happening though. We're at that day and age. I do not see things going back to the glory days. We just gotta look at that and say, how do I say goodbye to what we have? I'm doing a love myself. The good times that made
Those days are over.
that's like, let's go into the next one.
We're together, but we're not together.
Okay. Open.
We do things with each other all the time.
How old are you?
Look at this. Look at this. Look, I got no problem with you, my man. But we're together, but we're not together. I still love him with everything. He looking at her like, yeah, I get the bang all the girls I want. Pookie to the core. He the old school Pookie too. Got my Newport cigarettes, smoking with cigarettes. I'm not trying to play the brother. I'm just being real. For a man to be running from woman to woman like that, no discipline, I don't respect it.
Still love him with everything in me. And when he ready to come home, he come home. He just choose to just do what he do. I don't believe in marriage no more. It ain't what it used to be.
He don't.
Okay.
So my thing is being together is everything. You make it work still.
When it comes to her and them 5 kids,
Because the guy's a good kid. The guy's a good guy. He been taking care of the kids for 18 years, but no discipline. And look what we're seeing. So accepting. Is this man the right man, or should he have been picked out for her? He should have been picked out. She went with the guy that made her smile. Makes a coochie smile, I bet.
for 18 years, I'm going to make sure they good. My daddy wasn't there. I'm going to make sure I'm there. I've been there 18 years.
Yeah,
My daddy wasn't there. So you got to think about it. I watch everything, and I always said I'm going to be the opposite.
Is it a decision to not get married, or to just not end up that way?
I don't know. I just feel like, why get married when you could just still be together? And 10 years, common law, you're married. So why go through paperwork? And if anything happened, you got to go fight and do this? No.
A lot of people marry and they can't go through thick and thin for better or worse or all that. I done did all that. We ain't walked down no aisle, and that's why we still here with a smile.
Man.
And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. MVP, Simp!
I feel like I just watched the episode of the Boondocks.
You know, a lot of y'all are dealing with narcissistic people or narcissists that claim that they want a divorce. I was one of those men that was saying it, talking it, feeling it, happy about it. What happens is they reach a point in their life, in their career, let's say me, and keep it on me, where I was happier being single, living a single life while I was married. And so I knew when I was with the person, her, that she wasn't going to go anywhere. So I took her for granted. And I wanted my cake and eat it too. They call it your Kate and Edith too, right? And so that's why you see him highly motivated, stringing you along, wanting the divorce, talking about filing. I got the money. Let me send it to you now. You know, I'm moving out. Some of them move out, got my stuff. You know, I'm changing over the bills and the Wi-Fi and the Netflix, changing everything. Because that new person or their new freedom to go do their drugs, pop their pills, watch their porn, drink their liquor, do their gambling, or that new person has them motivated, highly motivated. And so what happens is they disregard you, they disregard the kids, they discard you all, they break up the family because that new motivation comes from something they've been seeking for a very long time. And it's possibly either new in a person that's giving them attention, or new in freedom to having to do what they want to do when they want to do in the drug, the pills, the weed, the liquor, the porn, the gambling, the things that you have a problem with. So that's why they found all this energy in wanting a divorce and pushing forward and having a lawyer and sending you papers and my lawyer's going to call you tomorrow at 3:00 and all this because they are onto something new, but they'd have no idea. When you break your vows, when you hurt a family, when you hurt kids, when you hurt a good woman or a good man, you're going to have that supply. You're going to have those drugs or those addictions, but you're going to suffer once you cut off your being equally yoked. Once you sever that because of an outside interference, another person or thing, someone or something, when you sever that, your vows, your holy matrimony, when you sever that, you're off into the land of demonic spirits, demonic people, and demonic things. So before they get to that point, they're gonna be happy. You're gonna be crying. They're gonna be happy. They're gonna be hanging out with their boys. They're gonna start taking vacations on the weekends and being gone for the weekends. Or she's gonna leave for weeks at a time with her girlfriends, going on cruises without you while you're sitting at home waiting. They're gonna do all those things. They've been waiting to do it. And I don't wish this on anybody. It's gonna all come crashing down. And when it's time for the divorce, when you gain your strength and your power, and you start looking good and healthy, and people showing you attention, then they want to come back. Why? Because those things or those people that were pulling them away from you are now gone. And it's not any shiny little object anymore. It's dull. And they're looking back at you, the old shiny object that's looking good, and they can't have you anymore. So this is why they come back, because now God is keeping them away and they're struggling to come back. So don't listen to what they're saying. I'm going into therapy. I'm going to get better. I'm going to do better. We're going to get engaged. We're going to renew our vows. If they leave you alone for 6 months or a year and they're in therapy, that may be something to think about. But until then, let them go.
Of course. Men are never going back. You know, the crazy thing is the way things work that nowadays, it went against men when you get married, but then from marriage tanking, then passport bros picked up. It's like things are happening. It's weird the way things are happening, but it's not bad in a way. Even though society is crumbling, things are picking up. What do I mean by that? A man goes, okay, he looks at the world and says, I have options. And that's what they're doing now. And think about when a man gets divorced. This man right here. I see men like him in the Philippines all the time. They say, hey, Jay, I would love for you to interview me and my Filipino wife. When can we meet? 20-year age gap, right? Man, met plenty of people like him. Salt and pepper beards that tells their stories. You think these men are ever going back? No. They're never going back. Why would they? When they can see channels like this and say, oh, it's like that? Oh, he's showing guys that do that? For years, I've been showing many men coming out to the Philippines and doing their thing. Why go back? Why ever go back?
Found the other woman's phone number. I figured out what number it was, and I called her. And when I called her, she asked me, "Why did you call me?" She didn't apologize. She didn't say anything other than she was not going to stop seeing him. And why are you calling me? I didn't know what to say. I didn't think it through. I dialed the number. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect to hear that. Sus, why are you expecting loyalty from an outside person outside your relationship? Why did you call her? You are the wife. Your energy should be directed to your husband, not the third party. You have power in this situation, even though it may feel like you don't. You cannot control her, and you cannot control him. Was you going to beg for the marriage? Was you going to beg her to leave him alone? Because if not her, it will be another person. The person that has the commitment supposed to be, and the person that you should direct that energy should be your husband. But he's showing you who he is. He is in a whole relationship with someone else. And this particular woman refused to talk to you.
Of course.
And I don't understand what you thought you were going to get.
She's old school, right? So she thought she was going to call her and she was going to give her the old school talk. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. It'll never happen again. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Like she thought she was going to big dog the situation. These women nowadays will take your man and then smack you in the face and then smack you again because you thought different. It sounds crazy, but it's crazy now.
From that, but what I need to tell you is you can't control neither one of them. You can't.
I don't know, hurts.
For whatever reason, he's still coming home at night. Some nights, from what you say. Some nights he don't. And I'm wondering if, because you still think it's a secret, because you think others don't know, is that why you still trying to work on it? Because you don't want to be further embarrassed by the public knowing. Some of them know about it, sis. He probably confided in family members. Somebody other than those two people know about it. Just like you saw pattern change, you saw certain things that caused you to speculate until you found out it was true. It's probably not a secret like you think.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're not out in public yet, that's a possibility. They might go to dinner one day. They might decide
Probably
they
already
don't
doing
care
it.
who see them. It's at a stage in a relationship where some women, if it's not publicly known, then they'll tend to hold on and work on it. But you calling her, I don't know what you thought that was going to accomplish, because that's not who you have the vow with. Deal with your husband. Don't ever, to me, forget who you are. You're the wife. You don't have to talk to her or deal with her. You don't have to. Focus on where you are in your relationship and the reality of it. Because the reality of it is that it sounds like he is going to date in your marriage. He is acting like he's single in your marriage. And if that's not what you want, do what's best for you and move on. But you can't control neither one of them. And I would advise you not to call that woman again. Because if you call her so many times and she already told you not to, she can take out a temporary protective order on you or something for stalking. So you got to be careful what you do. Don't put yourself in any situation that will jeopardize your freedom or make you look like you don't have good sense. Step back, talk to a friend, talk to a counselor, talk to somebody before you act on anything else again, because you are acting without thinking things through. And you don't want to be that emotionally unstable. You want to make sure you make calculated decisions so that in the end you get the best results out of the situation, no matter which way you go. And I don't know if there's children involved because you did not mention any. But just think about your movements and your mannerism. Get advice if you need to. Get a counselor, but definitely don't spontaneously do things without thinking it through.
Yeah.
I wish you the best. Much heart always.
Deep, but situations like that, I advise for women, definitely. Woman or man. He's cheating in a marriage, leave. If you think you want to keep him because you don't think you'll get someone else, stay. Simple. It's hard to get a man nowadays. If you want to forgive him, stay. But in a situation like that, it's kind of like, what are you forgiving? He's not going to change. He already showed that's where he wants to be. So go where your heart is.
I don't know if you've been in that situation or if you know somebody in a situation like this where a man will leave a particular woman and then quickly get with another woman, and then you wonder why, oh, well, why is he with her? Sometimes if we're looking at it from a surface level type of thinking, it could be because y'all not compatible and y'all just simply don't align. But if we're going to go a little deeper, maybe y'all are compatible, but you may challenge him when he's doing something wrong and he needs to be held accountable. You may go back and forth or have an argument where it's nothing wrong with arguing as long as it's respectful, and he doesn't like it because it makes him look at his own flaws by holding up a mirror in his face. Not to say that you can't be held accountable, but follow me here. It pretty much is like, okay, at the end of that argument, we need to have some solutions. But if he's kind of emotionally immature, he doesn't want to have solutions. He just simply want to have it his way. So he will find a woman that will be considered easy, not better, but an easy option. Where in that relationship, their dynamic, they don't argue. She don't really challenge him. She strokes his ego. She's his piece. And I know a lot of men kind of use that a lot. Some men are genuine, but a lot of men are doing it to manipulate the situation where it benefits them instead of it benefiting her, or better yet, the relationship as one. Why? Because even though he will reward her in the beginning or however long he decides, because she's doing that, but eventually it makes him complacent and lazy in that relationship where he feels like, I'm so comfortable where shit, she better be even glad I'm even here because I've put her in a position where she's dependent on me. And that's dangerous for that woman because now it's hard for you to sit here and rewind certain things and set boundaries when he's already comfortable in that. That's why a lot of men who end up leaving the woman that was considered combative, they like women that kind of give them a little bit of a challenge, or not difficult in a way where it's like, all right, girl, now you trying to act like you better than the program, but more so of, okay, it keeps me stable. Because if you let a man, especially if he's emotionally immature, y'all would be all over the place. And that puts the other woman that was considered better in a situation where now she's always trying to clean it up, and it still keeps spilling over because that's what she made. She made it too easy. And if we're really going to be honest, he may like her, but he would never respect her.
You can't just pick women based on looks. You have to understand a woman's mindset. And if her mindset is modern, you gotta go.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what comes. And you only judge women based upon their actions. Give women in general the benefit of the doubt. And see, a lot of ladies aren't gonna like what I'm about to say, but I say this: look at a woman that even if you're dealing with, assume that she means the best. Assume her heart's in the right place. It doesn't matter. It comes down to your action.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And men don't realize that until they meet a woman that's different. And a lot of times it happens with women of a different culture. And a lot of times it can happen out of the country or in the States. You can find a woman who's for you in the States because, as I said it in another video, they have a lot of imports happening in the US. They're coming from everywhere. So women coming from everywhere have different intentions. They value men. And what men are learning is if you're in the States, you can't get married no way. So as long as you're not dealing with divorce, some men are fine with dating. Not for me though. I gotta get married. I'm Christian. Sorry.
If you're seeing something constantly, eventually it becomes the norm to you. What
Mm-hmm.
excites you on day one, no matter how big her booty is, it excites you once you start sleeping with her and seeing her every day. That gets old.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to be with the person's character, right? But nobody cares about that. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I can't even say it's just the men, because the women, they, if you're not at a certain height, if you're not making certain money, if you don't drive a certain car, if you don't drive at all, they're not interested. Nobody cares about character. You guys will look at me and be like, Kes, you're pretty, right? I'm gonna do it all the time. Kes, you're gorgeous. Kes, you're beautiful. Something I already know. I'm not being even, I'm not conceited about it. I look at my mother every day and I say that she's a beautiful woman. And it's just a no-brainer, right? I guarantee you, if you step outside, you're going to see another girl that looks better. There's always gonna be somebody better looking.
Always. Yep.
So you have to remove that off the table. No, I know you guys have been taught that. I'm trying to get you to be in a space where you can choose the right partner. You guys hearing me? I got to get you into the mental space to turn off that part where say, oh, I need to look at just the looks. I want you to look at the woman. What does she bring to you as a man? We got to stop looking at just the face and the body. It's dime a dozen it's dime a dozen at this point though. Because you know what? Everybody's paying for it. Everybody's going if they wake up and they're like, I don't like this, everybody's paying for the body, right? I want you men to look at the character.
That's I feel that. Like, that's exactly how I was thinking when I married my wife. I was looking at who she was as a person more importantly. And she's cute too, but that was more important for me because I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. I have to like you as a person. And I have to make sure, I want to make sure a woman is into me, not the other way around. Not like how it is in the West.
So, today we're going to talk about why men, or a lot of men, will not approach a beautiful, successful woman. So, did a lot of research, read blogs and different articles and things like that. And I came to the conclusion that I was pretty much on par with what the general public is saying about it. So, this is the deal. The number one reason why men don't approach a beautiful, successful woman is that they are intimidated. They just feel like they're just not gonna line up. Especially an average guy like myself. You look at a beautiful, successful woman, you're thinking, she doesn't want anything to do with me. Because, why is that? It's because I know that she can pick from the cream de la cream, the beautiful, successful, providing men. So why bother with someone like me? Number two, men are, but they feel a lot of times feel inferior. So we have a lot of insecurities. Men have a lot of insecurities. They're insecure about their body. They're insecure about their performance. They're insecure about the income they make, and so on and so forth. And so you combine all of those together, and you got a problem. And so the last reason why, and this may seem kind of different, or you may not have thought about this, but competition. In other words, men they don't want to work that hard because they know that there are hundreds of men competing for her attention. She's beautiful. She's successful. And you got all these men that are beautiful and successful, and they are vying for her attention. And it's like, that's just too much work. I'm not even going to put myself into that pool of competition. So those are the reasons, because again, women as a whole are God's crown and jewel, and you put success on top of that, you put articulation on top of that, you put sexy and beautiful on top of that, and you got the cream de la cream, and it's just intimidating.